When you hear of Akron, Ohio, a medium-sized city of approximately 200,000 residents, 25 minutes south of Cleveland, you may think of NBA legend LeBron James, music group The Black Keys, or maybe as the birthplace of Goodyear, Firestone, and Bridgestone tires. If you look under the hood a little deeper, you will see a different story of Akron, one of poverty, drug addiction, and violence. It started with a few quiet blocks in Akron, but it ended with a multi-agency federal indictment that spanned years of surveillance and thousands of pages of evidence. The Down the Way gang thought they had perfected the code of silence, but they didn't count on the digital footprint they were leaving behind. This is the story of the takedown that dismantled Akron's most elusive street empire.
9 accused members of a gang called Down the Way have been indicted and arrested.
Over the past 4 years, Akron police and prosecutors have been investigating multiple violent crimes, suspecting a gang called Down the Way, or DTW, was responsible for much of it.
Akron used to be a place where you could raise a family and carve out a decent life for yourself. But over recent years, that reputation has quickly turned. In 2020, gunfire suddenly erupted between two groups outside a drive-thru on Lover's Lane. The crossfire was devastating, leaving two teenagers severely injured. A nearby muffler shop employee recalled the dangerous aftermath, noting that cops flooded the area the next day, but the fear lingered heavily in the air. This wasn't just a handful of isolated incidents. This was a concerted, coordinated effort of gang activity that terrorized the people of Akron. Just when the community hoped the worst was over, the violence escalated. On Easter Sunday of 2021, the peace of a holy holiday was shattered by a brazen gun battle on Florida Avenue. Once again, two teens were shot, and though they miraculously survived, the neighborhood was deeply traumatized. For years, a tight-knit organization known as the Down the Way Gang, or DTW, turned Akron streets into a battlefield. Between 2019 and 2024, they operated with what seemed to be total impunity, weaving an ongoing pattern of criminal activity that left law enforcement scrambling and a community terrified. What the gang didn't realize was that an unprecedented multi-agency force was quietly assembling against them. The Akron Police Department, the ATF, the U.S. Marshals, Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force, and the Summit County Prosecutor's Office were all closing in on them. They were building a massive case that would culminate in the seizure of 42 guns and tie the gang to at least 36 gun-related crimes. The human toll was becoming unbearable. As Akron Police Deputy Chief David Laughlin later stated, houses have been struck, cars have been struck, people have been struck. Families were being actively victimized by the Down the Way gang, robbed of their fundamental right to live peacefully and raise their children without the fear of stray bullets flying through their living room walls. For a long time, many of these shootings went cold, leaving victims without justice. But what the gang didn't realize was that the Akron Police Department wasn't just bagging evidence, they were analyzing it at an elite level. The Akron Crime Gun Intelligence Center investigators began utilizing the center to track the digital and ballistic footprints left behind by the gang. The science of ballistics tracking became their ultimate weapon. Through this technology, authorities managed to connect 7 of the 42 seized firearms directly to area shootings that had previously been unsolved, including those devastating incidents on Lover's Lane and Florida Avenue. The investigation took a much darker turn as detectives pieced together the gang's history. The violence wasn't just reckless, it was lethal. April of 2025, a 35-year-old man was shot to death inside a bar on Britton Road.
A night out turns deadly. A 35-year-old gunned down inside a local bar. Now police are searching the streets, hoping to find the killer.
Where's the male at? Where's the victim at?
He's laying on the floor.
The guy was outside, and he came in and suited.
A man was shot in this bar, Bullseye 330, a little before 4 a.m. Saturday. Take a look in the upper left-hand corner of this video. You can see people running for their lives to get away from the gunfire.
For nearly a year, the man's family waited in agony for someone to be held accountable for the tragedy that shattered their family. February 3rd, armed with years of painstaking intelligence, the Akron Police Department's Anti-Violence Bureau moved in. They were heavily backed by the muscle of the U.S. Marshals Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force. The grand jury had returned indictments, and the task force executed arrest warrants with surgical precision. 9 individuals were officially charged with participating in a criminal gang and conspiracy to participate in a criminal gang. Their names went on the public record: Isaiah Lilly, Eric Kosey, Jimmy McCulley, Ronald Jones, Jordan Davis, Rausheen Rivers, Tyrus Toney, Javion Wright, and Michael Morale Jr. 5 were apprehended during the sweeping morning raids, while the other 4 were already sitting in jail cells on unrelated charges. The multi-year investigation had finally crippled the organization. Among the charges, the lengthy investigation ultimately delivered a massive blow: a murder charge against suspect Ronald Jones for the fatal bar shooting. In all fairness, I would like to add, Ronald Jones has been charged, not found guilty at the time of this video. Akron residents who lived through the terror of the Lover's Lane shootout summarized the relief felt across the city. A resident added, "I'm glad they cleaned up the neighborhood. More room for regular people," he said. Summit County Prosecutor Elliot Kolkovich and Deputy Chief Laughlin echoed this sentiment, emphasizing that these organized criminals had repeatedly demonstrated their refusal to abide by the law. Because of the relentless dedication of Akron detectives, crime analysts, and federal partners, those responsible for the violence could be locked away for years, making the streets of Akron profoundly safer. Which Northeast Ohio case should we look into next? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe, and thanks for watching Northeast Ohio Crime. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.